The ANC NEC continues its meeting this weekend. The highest decision-making body between conferences is expected to look at a number of issues, including the future of former President Jacob Zuma. Now, this after he threw his weight behind the newly formed MK party. Now, the former president has said he will not campaign nor vote for the ANC in the upcoming elections. SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko joins us in studio, and he has been following those developments. Samkele, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Take us through some of the main discussions that took place this afternoon.
The main deliberations that took place throughout the course of the day was the political report which was delivered by the president of the ANC, and ultimately the ANC's National Working Committee presentation or document towards the NEC, which looks at the day-to-day running of the organization and also looks at the mushrooming of new political formations in the country. Those two reports were delivered on Friday. And subsequent to that, they had to break to watch the court judgment at the International Court of Justice. Then after that, the president had to deliver the address to the nation as head of state. So subsequently, no deliberations took place in the NEC. They adjourned on Saturday to attend to Violet Siwela's funeral in Mpumalanga and Bushbuck Ridge. Yes. That's the deputy president and other officials. Whilst the ANC president went to Epleni, to the Shembe church to engage with them and to deliver those 1,000 houses that he promised to build for them and the plans that he has in the form of drawings that it delivered there. But essentially throughout the course of today, the discussions have centralized around the formation of these new political organizations, MK Party, Act of Ace Magashule, and ultimately former President Jacob Zuma endorsing the MK Party. They are still in deliberations on that specific item as we speak now, and they will finish in the wee hours of the morning or late into the evening discussing this matter, and ultimately will culminate in the ANC's National NEC Lekgotla taking place from 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
So we don't know if Zuma has been expelled by the ANC yet at this stage, Samkele.
Well, at this stage, what we can say is Jacob Zuma, in the words of the ANC, as the ANC is locked in boardroom meetings, Jacob Zuma is on the ground mobilizing thousands of people have just pitched in Waklimba in Ward 1, which is formerly the ANC's biggest ward, and showing a strong showing. And it basically tells you that they are pretty much shaken by the Jacob Zuma factor. But what we can say in the form of what we are told by ANC and reading the ANC constitution, Rule 25 of the ANC constitution clearly stipulates that no member of the party can act in a manner that harms the ANC or has dual membership of organizations that are not in alliance with the African National Congress. So in the words of ANC leaders, and in particular Bheki Mtolo and also Fikile Mbalula, the Secretary General, and other leaders of the ANC, Jacob Zuma has transgressed Rule 25 of the ANC constitution. So there are three proposals on the table before the NEC. One, which is being pushed by some leaders of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, like Bheki Mtolo, is to summarily expel Jacob Zuma from the organization. Two is a proposal to basically charge him and make him follow due process like they did with Elias Sekgobela Magashule. Three is to defer the matter, to say, look, we will not be sidetracked by Jacob Zuma and his sideshow MK. Let's defer the matter until June after the elections. Then we can take decisive action against the former president then, which is a view that ANC National Chairperson Gwede Mantashe is more inclined to, and other leaders of the organization, saying that if you expel Jacob Zuma now, you give him political mileage and public sympathy to say that this party has now expelled me. It's no longer the party that will espouse to achieve the aspirations of the founding liberation movement's principles and ethos. So essentially, Gwede Mantashe is saying defer the matter, but there is this middle ground view which is finding more resonance in the NEC to say no, we have to take action against him. We've taken action against councillors in KwaZulu-Natal who've joined MK, who've shown sympathy towards MK. Let's charge Jacob Zuma now and make him follow the due processes of the party in this period as well, so that when we ultimately take a decision, or when ultimately the ANC's National Disciplinary Committee takes a decision, it is a final decision that must just come to NEC for ratification and then is pronounced.
Interesting. interesting stance from Gwede Mantashe Samkele, because he was the one that said Jacob Zuma should be left to his own devices because he had since left his party on his own. So there was no need to really expel him because he left on his own. So this is an interesting, aspect of what he had said the last time.
Politically, Gwede Mantashe is correct to say Jacob Zuma has left the ANC, but Jacob Zuma has not left the ANC as a member.
Absolutely,
he's left
yes.
the ANC in electoral politics in the form that in the ballot paper, that booklet that we are going to get, since it's going to be a booklet this year, he's not going to put his X next to ANC. He's going to put his X next to MK party, and that is a transgression of the ANC's Rule 25 and ANC membership. And that, in a sense, Gwede Mantashe is correct in a way, but also wrong, because legally and membership-wise, Jacob Zuma's membership in Nkandla branch, Kwatagatunuse, is still within the African National Congress.
True.
It is still recorded at Seme House in KwaZulu-Natal, ultimately recorded at Luchuli House. And in that form, he needs to be disciplined organizationally in the ANC, because if they summarily expel him without taking him to a DC, it is subject to litigation. And hence they had a protracted issue of trying to fix Ace Magashule and taking him through the disciplinary processes of the organization, and ultimately it led to his expulsion. The same was used with Julius Malema when he was president of the Youth League. The same was also used with Bantu Holomisa before he left the African National Congress, and that is the same process they are undertaking now with Jacob Zuma. I can tell you that 60% to 70% of ANC NEC members are saying no, we cannot summarily just expel him, you need to take him to a DC. But ultimately, the decision that may be taken once it's announced tomorrow is that Jacob Zuma will be formally charged as an ANC member. If we're expecting an expulsion now, I think we should just get some nice cool drink, relax, watch the TV, and chill. It's still going to be a protracted process.